Hello, and welcome to another gentle journey on Sleepy Professor Stories. Tonight, you are invited into a calm exploration of something that is happening inside you at this very moment, even as you listen quietly in the dark. Your body is not silent. Beneath the stillness of your breathing and the slow rhythm of your heartbeat, a soft conversation is unfolding. Tiny chemical messengers move through your bloodstream with patience and quiet purpose, carrying signals that guide sleep, mood, growth, and countless small adjustments that keep you balanced throughout the day and night. These messengers are known as hormones. They are not loud or dramatic. They do not rush or shout. Instead, they travel gently through the body like notes drifting through a peaceful melody. One signal might tell your cells that night has arrived. Another might guide the release of energy so your muscles can move easily. Yet another quietly shapes how your mind experiences calmness, connection, or focus. It can be helpful to imagine your body not as a machine made of separate parts, but as something more like an orchestra. In this orchestra, organs and glands are the instruments, each playing its own quiet tone. Hormones are the messages that help those instruments stay in harmony. When one signal begins, another may soften, and together they create a rhythm that keeps the body steady. As we move through tonight's gentle journey, we will slowly explore the science of these signals. You will hear how hormones guide sleep, influence emotions, support growth, and help your body maintain balance through every hour of the day. There is nothing complicated you need to remember. The ideas will unfold naturally, one calm step at a time. And if at any point your thoughts begin to drift, or your eyes grow heavy, that is perfectly welcome here. You do not need to stay awake to follow every word. Your mind can wander like a quiet stream while your body rests comfortably wherever you are. Before we continue, a small moment of appreciation. If you enjoy calm scientific journeys like this one, you might consider supporting the channel in whatever way feels natural to you. Some listeners choose to like the video, subscribe for future explorations, or share the experience with someone who enjoys learning in a peaceful way. But there is no pressure and nothing required. These journeys are simply here to offer a quiet space to relax and discover. For now, the only thing that matters is comfort. Let your shoulders soften. Allow your breathing to become slow and easy. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your chest as air moves in and out, steady and calm. There is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to solve, nothing you need to remember. The night is already doing its quiet work. As you listen, imagine the body settling into a peaceful rhythm. Somewhere inside you, hormones are already preparing your cells for rest. Tiny signals are adjusting your internal clock, lowering the brightness of wakefulness and guiding you gently towards sleep. In the next part of our journey, we will begin to look more closely at these quiet messengers themselves, what they are, how they travel, and how something so small can quietly guide so much of the living world inside you. For now, simply allow the calm to deepen. Let your breathing slow. Inside your body, a quiet conversation is always unfolding. It continues whether you are walking through a busy afternoon or resting in the calm of night. Even now, as you settle into stillness and listen gently to these words, countless signals are drifting through your bloodstream, carrying messages from one place to another with remarkable patience. These signals are known as hormones. They are tiny chemical messengers so small that you could never see them with your eyes alone. Yet, despite their size, they influence some of the most familiar rhythms of your life. They help guide sleep and waking, shape how energy moves through your body, and quietly assist your organs in working together as one coordinated system. Imagine your body as a peaceful landscape of communication. Organs and tissues do not act alone. Instead, they listen to one another through these traveling signals. Hormones move through the bloodstream like letters carried along a slow river, drifting toward distant destinations where they gently deliver their instructions. Nothing about this system is rushed. Hormones are not released in loud bursts or sudden storms. Most of the time, their movements are soft and measured, more like the steady ticking of a quiet clock. A small gland deep within the body releases a tiny amount of a hormone, and that signal begins its journey through the bloodstream. As it travels, it may pass through the heart, flow along branching vessels, and eventually reach cells prepared to receive it. Those cells carry special receptors, delicate structures that act almost like locks waiting for the right key. When the hormone arrives and fits into its receptor, the cell understands the message. A process begins, sometimes adjusting metabolism, sometimes influencing growth, sometimes preparing the body for rest. This gentle exchange is happening constantly. What is remarkable is that the body rarely needs to shout its instructions. Most hormonal signals work with astonishing efficiency. Even a very small amount can be enough to guide thousands of cells at once. The body relies on subtlety rather than volume, precision rather than force. You might imagine the bloodstream as a slow-moving river at twilight, carrying tiny notes of information from place to place. A message from one gland drifts quietly toward distant tissues. Another signal emerges somewhere else, balancing the first. The result is not chaos, but harmony. The system responsible for creating and releasing these hormones is known as the endocrine system. Rather than being a single organ, it is a network of small glands located throughout the body. Each gland has its own quiet specialty. Some guide how the body grows and repairs itself. Others help manage energy levels throughout the day. Still others influence mood, reproduction, or the timing of sleep. Although these glands are scattered across different parts of the body, they remain deeply connected through communication. A signal from the brain may encourage a gland to release a hormone. That hormone travels through the blood and influences another organ. The responding organ may then send feedback back to the brain, quietly informing it that the message has been received. This back-and-forth conversation allows the body to maintain balance. Scientists often describe this balance using the word homeostasis. It simply means that the body is constantly adjusting itself, making tiny corrections that keep internal conditions steady. Temperature remains stable. Energy levels remain manageable. Sleep arrives when darkness deepens. Hormones play a central role in these adjustments. You might think of them as caretakers of the body's internal environment. They watch over countless processes without requiring your attention. While you focus on your daily life, these messengers quietly guide the flow of chemistry within you. In many ways, the endocrine system works slowly compared with other forms of communication in the body. Nerve signals travel along electrical pathways at incredible speed, delivering messages in fractions of a second. Hormones, by contrast, move at a gentler pace. Their effects unfold gradually, often lasting longer and influencing broader areas of the body. This slower rhythm suits the kinds of tasks hormones perform. Growth unfolds over years rather than moments. Sleep cycles shift gradually with the rising and setting of the sun. Emotional states often emerge from deeper biological currents rather than instant switches. Hormones guide these longer rhythms with remarkable patience. You do not need to control these processes consciously. In fact, most of them occur entirely outside your awareness. Your body knows how to release the right signals at the right time, responding to changes in light, food, stress, activity, and rest. Even as you relax now, your endocrine system is quietly adjusting to the evening. Signals that support alertness may begin to soften. Other signals may slowly prepare the body for rest, guiding the mind toward calmness and encouraging muscles to relax. The body senses the passing of time in ways that are both delicate and precise. Light entering your eyes during the day influences certain brain regions that help regulate hormone release. As darkness grows, the balance of these signals shifts, gently preparing the body for sleep. It is a process so natural that most people never notice it happening. But inside you, a careful choreography unfolds. Glands release their signals in measured amounts. Cells receive the messages and respond. Feedback loops quietly adjust the system, ensuring that no signal becomes too strong or too weak. This balance allows the body to remain stable even when the outside world changes. Temperature might drop on a cool evening. Activity might slow after a long day. Food might be digested and transformed into energy. Hormones help guide each of these adjustments with steady calm. Sometimes their influence is immediate enough to notice. A rush of adrenaline can quicken the heartbeat. A rise in certain hormones can bring feelings of alertness or motivation. But most hormonal actions are far more subtle. They unfold quietly in the background, shaping long-term patterns rather than sudden reactions. Cells grow and divide under hormonal guidance. Bones strengthen gradually over years. Sleep cycles repeat night after night. Through all of this, hormones remain patient travelers, carrying their messages through the bloodstream like soft whispers between distant friends. There is something deeply reassuring about this quiet system. Your body is not waiting for constant instructions from your conscious mind. It already carries an intricate network of signals designed to keep things running smoothly. Even when you rest, the system continues its gentle work. There is nothing you need to control, nothing you need to monitor. The body already understands how to maintain its balance. As your breathing slows and the night grows deeper around you, these tiny messengers continue their silent journeys. Some guide the body toward rest. Others prepare cells for repair and renewal during sleep. They move without hurry, following pathways shaped by millions of years of biological refinement. And this quiet communication forms the foundation for everything we will explore together. Because once you begin to notice these messengers, a new curiosity naturally arises. Where do these signals come from? What are the small glands that release them? And how do these scattered structures work together so smoothly, like instruments playing in a calm and steady orchestra? Inside your body, the quiet messengers you met earlier do not appear from nowhere. Each of them begins its journey in a small and thoughtful place, a gland designed to release exactly the signal that is needed, and no more. These glands are scattered throughout the body, each with its own gentle responsibility. Together, they form what scientists call the endocrine system. A network so calm and subtle that most people live their entire lives without ever noticing its work. You can imagine these glands as instruments in a soft orchestra. None of them tries to dominate the music. Instead, each one plays a careful note at the right moment. The result is not noise, but harmony, a steady biological rhythm that allows the body to remain balanced even as the world around it changes. Some of these glands are very small, tucked quietly into protected spaces within the body. Yet their influence travels far beyond their size. A tiny release of hormones from one gland can drift through the bloodstream and affect cells in distant organs, shaping how they behave, how they grow, or how they rest. Deep within the brain sits one of the most influential glands of all, known as the pituitary. It rests in a small cradle of bone and works closely with nearby brain structures that monitor the body's internal environment. The pituitary listens carefully to signals from the brain, and when the moment is right, it releases hormones that guide other glands throughout the body. Because of this coordinating role, the pituitary is often described as a conductor in the body's orchestra. But even a conductor does not create music alone. The pituitary simply helps guide the timing, allowing other glands to release their own signals when conditions are right. Not far away in the neck rests another quiet contributor to this harmony. The thyroid gland sits gently at the front of the throat, shaped a little like the wings of a butterfly. Its hormones influence the body's metabolism, the slow and steady process that turns food into usable energy. When the thyroid releases its signals, cells throughout the body adjust how quickly they use fuel, how warm the body feels, and how steadily energy flows through daily life. If the thyroid were an instrument in the orchestra, it might resemble a slow and steady rhythm section, keeping the tempo of the body's internal energy. Elsewhere, resting above the kidneys, are the adrenal glands. These small structures have a remarkable ability to release hormones that prepare the body for activity when needed. Their signals can influence heart rate, blood pressure, and the availability of energy in the bloodstream. Yet even these powerful signals are usually delivered in careful balance. Most of the time, the adrenal glands quietly support normal daily rhythms, helping the body wake in the morning, adapt to movement, and respond calmly to challenges. In the abdomen sits another gland that plays a gentle but essential role in the body's harmony. The pancreas releases hormones that help regulate the amount of sugar circulating in the bloodstream. These signals ensure that cells receive the fuel they need without allowing levels to rise too high or fall too low. It is a delicate balance, maintained through constant communication between the pancreas and the rest of the body. When food is digested, the pancreas notices the rise in blood sugar and releases hormones that guide cells to absorb and store that energy. Later, when the body needs fuel again, other signals help release stored energy back into circulation. And this quiet regulation happens throughout the day without requiring any conscious effort. Further glands contribute their own signals as well. Some influence growth and development. Others guide reproductive processes. Some shape how the body handles minerals like calcium, supporting the strength of bones and the proper functioning of muscles and nerves. Each gland releases hormones into the bloodstream, but they do not act independently. The endocrine system works as a network, constantly adjusting itself through feedback. When one gland releases a signal, the body observes the effects. If the signal becomes strong enough, other glands may reduce their own activity, allowing balance to return. This system of feedback is one of the reasons the endocrine network is so stable. Rather than pushing in only one direction, the hormones rise and fall gently in response to the body's needs. You might imagine the entire system as a conversation carried out through chemistry. One gland sends a message, another listens and responds. A third adjusts its activity to maintain harmony. The body rarely needs sudden changes. Instead, it prefers small adjustments, made gradually and patiently. During the daytime, certain glands release hormones that support alertness and activity. As evening approaches and light begins to fade, signals from the brain slowly encourage other glands to prepare the body for rest. These shifts are subtle, unfolding over hours rather than seconds. Hormones do not rush their work. They move with the quiet patience of natural cycles. This slow rhythm allows the body to maintain stability even when external conditions change. A busy afternoon, a peaceful evening, or a long night of sleep all influence hormonal patterns. Yet the endocrine system adapts calmly to each situation. Even when you are not thinking about it, your glands are listening carefully to the body's needs. They measure signals carried in the blood, respond to instructions from the brain, and release their own hormones in response. And because these glands are connected through feedback loops, they rarely act alone. Each release of hormones sends information throughout the network, allowing other glands to adjust their activity. This cooperative system ensures that the body remains balanced across many different processes at once. Energy levels remain steady. Growth continues over time. Sleep cycles follow the gentle rhythm of day and night. It is a remarkable form of biological coordination. You might imagine it as an orchestra performing a very slow and peaceful piece of music. The instruments are spread across the stage, each playing its own quiet line. Sometimes, one instrument becomes slightly louder, guiding the melody. At other moments, another instrument rises gently into focus. But none of them competes for attention. Instead, they listen carefully to one another, adjusting their timing so that the music flows smoothly. The endocrine system works in much the same way. Glands communicate through hormones, adjusting their signals until balance is restored. The body moves through daily life supported by this steady harmony. Even now, as you rest and allow your breathing to slow, this orchestra continues to play quietly inside you. Signals drift through the bloodstream. Glands listen and respond. Cells receive their instructions and adjust their activity. And all of it unfolds without requiring effort from you. There is nothing you need to manage or control. The body already understands the rhythm it needs. If anything, the most helpful thing you can do is simply allow yourself to rest, giving these quiet systems the calm environment they prefer. As the night deepens, many glands begin to shift their signals toward restoration and sleep. Hormones that support repair, recovery, and cellular renewal begin to rise gradually. The orchestra softens its tempo, and somewhere deep within the brain, a subtle clock is already guiding the timing of these changes, preparing the body for the long, peaceful rhythm of night. That gentle clock, hidden within the brain, plays an especially important role in shaping how hormones rise and fall across each day. And its quiet influence is where our journey will slowly drift next. As the day slowly moves toward evening, something subtle begins to shift inside you. The light outside may fade gradually, shadows stretching across quiet rooms, the air cooling slightly as the sun lowers toward the horizon. Yet even if you close the curtains or remain indoors, your body still senses these changes in its own quiet way. Deep within your brain lives a small cluster of cells that acts like a steady timekeeper. This tiny region helps guide the rhythm of your day and night, gently coordinating the signals that tell your body when to be alert and when to rest. It does not tick like a mechanical clock. Instead, it follows the soft pattern of the natural world, at responding to light and darkness with remarkable sensitivity. You might imagine it as a quiet watchtower observing the sky. When morning light enters your eyes, even through closed eyelids, signals travel along delicate pathways to this timekeeping center in the brain. The brain interprets that light as a message that day has begun. In response, it gradually encourages the release of hormones that promote wakefulness and energy. The body warms slightly, the mind becomes clearer, muscles feel more ready to move. This rising wave of alertness is not sudden. It unfolds slowly, like dawn spreading across a peaceful landscape. Throughout the day, this internal clock continues to monitor the presence of light. As long as daylight remains strong, the brain quietly maintains signals that support activity. Hormones that help regulate energy, focus, and movement circulate through the bloodstream in gentle patterns. But as evening approaches, the message carried by light begins to change. The brightness that once signaled morning slowly softens. Shadows grow longer. Artificial lights may glow softly indoors, but they rarely match the powerful brightness of daylight. The brain senses this difference, and the timekeeper begins to adjust its signals. This is when another hormone quietly enters the story. Melatonin is often called the hormone of nightfall. It is produced by a small gland deep within the brain, known as the pineal gland. This gland remains very sensitive to the signals sent by the brain's internal clock, releasing melatonin when darkness becomes more prominent. Melatonin does not force the body to sleep. Instead, it gently prepares the body for rest. As melatonin levels begin to rise, several subtle changes occur. Body temperature lowers slightly. Muscles relax a little more easily. The mind may begin to feel less focused on activity and more open to quiet reflection. You might notice this shift in your own evenings. There is often a moment when the busy energy of the day softens. Thoughts slow down. The body feels ready to settle into stillness. That quiet transition is partly guided by melatonin moving gently through the bloodstream. What makes this process remarkable is how gradually it unfolds. Melatonin does not appear suddenly at the moment you lie down. Its release begins earlier, sometimes hours before sleep itself. The body prepares carefully, adjusting its internal environment step by step so that rest arrives naturally rather than abruptly. Now, even the temperature of your skin begins to change as night approaches. Blood vessels in the hands and feet relax slightly, allowing warmth to move outward. This gentle redistribution of heat helps the body cool internally, a small but important signal that encourages sleep. All of these adjustments occur under the guidance of the brain's quiet timekeeper. The internal clock is not measuring minutes the way a watch does. Instead, it follows a repeating cycle that lasts a little longer than a full day. Each morning, exposure to sunlight helps reset this rhythm, aligning the body once again with the natural rotation of Earth. Without that daily adjustment, the body's clock would slowly drift. But sunlight acts like a gentle reminder, guiding the clock back into harmony with the day outside. Because of this connection, the amount of light you experience during the day can influence how easily you fall asleep at night. Bright daylight strengthens the signals that support alertness during waking hours, making the evening transition toward melatonin release clearer and smoother. In this way, the body listens carefully to the environment. Morning light, afternoon brightness, and evening darkness all provide information that shapes hormonal rhythms. The endocrine system responds patiently, adjusting the release of signals that guide sleep and wakefulness. Even your habits can influence this rhythm. Regular patterns of activity, meals, and rest help reinforce the signals that the brain's clock sends throughout the body. Over time, these patterns become familiar, allowing hormones to rise and fall with steady predictability. Yet the system is also flexible. If you stay awake later than usual, the body may slowly adjust its signals. If you travel across time zones, the clock gradually shifts until it matches the new cycle of daylight and darkness. These changes may take time, but the body patiently recalibrates itself. Throughout all of this, melatonin remains one of the most recognizable signals of night. It does not work alone. Many other hormones participate in the daily rhythm of the body, rising and falling in patterns that support energy during the day and restoration during sleep. But melatonin carries a particularly gentle message. It whispers that the day is ending. It invites the body to slow down. It encourages the mind to release its focus on activity and welcome the calm of night. You might imagine this signal as a soft lantern glowing somewhere deep inside the brain, gradually dimming the brightness of wakefulness. As melatonin spreads through the bloodstream, it reaches cells throughout the body. Some of these cells respond by adjusting their own internal clocks. Others begin preparing for the restorative processes that occur during sleep. This quiet preparation is essential. Sleep is not simply a pause in activity. During sleep, the body performs countless forms of maintenance. Hormones guide the repair of tissues, the strengthening of immune defenses, and the careful organization of memories within the brain. The gentle rise of melatonin helps open the doorway to this nightly restoration. Even now, as you listen and allow your breathing to settle into a calm rhythm, your body may already be following these signals. If the room around you is dim and quiet, your brain may sense that night has arrived. The pineal gland may begin releasing small amounts of melatonin, guiding the body toward deeper rest. There is nothing you need to do to help this process. Your body understands the rhythm already. It has followed the cycle of day and night since the moment you were born, quietly adjusting itself to the turning of the planet beneath the sky. With every passing evening, the same gentle sequence unfolds again. Light fades, signals shift, melatonin begins its quiet work, and the body prepares for sleep long before your eyes close. But the internal clock does more than guide the timing of nightfall. It also influences the rise and fall of many other hormones throughout the day, shaping patterns of energy, alertness, and calm in ways that continue far beyond the moment when darkness arrives. Morning arrives quietly inside your body long before the world fully wakes outside your window. Even before your eyes open, subtle signals begin to move through your bloodstream, gently shifting the balance of chemistry that guides how you feel. These signals help the body move from the deep stillness of night toward the calm readiness of day. You do not have to think about these changes. They unfold automatically, guided by hormones that rise and fall in soft rhythms across the hours. Among the most important of these morning signals is a hormone known as cortisol. Its name is often connected with moments of stress, yet in daily life, its role is far more balanced and supportive. Cortisol is not simply a signal of tension or alarm. Most of the time, it works quietly in the background, helping your body wake, organize energy, and prepare for the gentle movement of the day ahead. As the early hours of morning approach, cortisol levels begin to rise naturally. This increase is guided by the same internal clock that shapes the cycle of sleep and darkness. While melatonin slowly fades, cortisol begins to take its place, offering a signal that the body is ready to greet the light. The rise of cortisol is gradual. It spreads through the bloodstream like the first pale colors of dawn appearing across the sky. Cells throughout the body receive this message and begin adjusting their activity. Energy becomes more available. The brain becomes more alert. Muscles prepare quietly for motion. You might think of cortisol as a gentle morning messenger. It does not shout or push. Instead, it simply tells the body that the day has begun. With this signal, the liver begins releasing small amounts of stored glucose into the bloodstream, ensuring that your cells have the energy they need after the long, quiet hours of sleep. Blood pressure rises slightly, supporting circulation as you move from rest to activity. The brain becomes more attentive to the world around you. These changes are subtle, yet together they create the familiar feeling of waking. Cortisol does not work alone. Other hormones participate in the daily dance of energy and calm. Each contributes its own quiet influence, helping the body respond to changing conditions while maintaining steady balance. As the day unfolds, hormone levels shift gently in response to what you experience. If you begin moving through your morning routine, signals supporting metabolism continue to circulate, ensuring that muscles receive the fuel they require. If you sit quietly with a cup of tea or coffee, your body adjusts in different ways, distributing energy calmly through your bloodstream. The endocrine system is always listening. It senses signals from the brain, from the digestive system, from the muscles, and from the environment around you. Each of these signals informs the glands about what the body needs at that moment. When activity increases, hormones may guide the release of additional energy into the blood. When rest returns, those signals soften, allowing the body to settle again. This constant adjustment creates a smooth flow between states of energy and calm. Rather than sharp shifts, the body prefers gradual transitions. Hormones rise gently, reach a quiet peak, and then begin to fall again as circumstances change. The result is a rhythm that moves like slow waves across the ocean. Even the experience of stress is shaped by these same hormonal systems. When the brain perceives a challenge, it may encourage the adrenal glands to release additional cortisol and other signals that prepare the body for action. Heart rate increases slightly. Breathing deepens. Muscles receive extra fuel. But once the situation passes, the system gradually returns to balance. Hormone levels decline, circulation settles, and the body resumes its steady rhythm. In healthy conditions, these changes are temporary, part of the body's natural ability to respond and recover. You might imagine the endocrine system as a careful caretaker, adjusting the brightness of a lamp throughout the day. In the morning, the light grows stronger, illuminating the mind and body for activity. During the afternoon, it remains steady, supporting focus and movement. As evening approaches, the light begins to soften, preparing the body for rest once again. Cortisol follows a pattern much like this. Its levels are highest in the early hours of morning, when energy and alertness are most needed. As the day progresses, those levels slowly decline, allowing other hormones associated with relaxation and sleep to take their place later in the evening. This natural rise and fall helps create the feeling of a full and balanced day. You awaken gradually, move through periods of activity, and then slowly return toward calm as night approaches. Hormones guide each of these transitions without requiring your attention. They work quietly beneath the surface of awareness. Your body trusts these rhythms. It knows when to gather energy and when to release it. It knows when to focus and when to rest. The endocrine system helps maintain this balance with remarkable patience. Even small daily experiences can influence these signals. Exposure to sunlight in the morning strengthens the hormonal cues that support alertness. Gentle physical movement encourages healthy circulation of energy-regulating hormones. Moments of calm, such as quiet breathing or peaceful reflection, allow stress-related signals to settle more quickly. Yet even without deliberate effort, the system continues its work. Your glands release hormones in careful patterns shaped by both internal clocks and external experiences. Each release sends information throughout the body, allowing cells to adjust their activity accordingly. It is a form of communication that never stops. Throughout the day and night, messages travel through the bloodstream, guiding countless processes that keep the body functioning smoothly. The remarkable thing is how rarely we notice it. We wake up, move through the day, and eventually grow tired again, rarely aware that a delicate network of hormones is quietly shaping these experiences. But the rhythm is always there. Cortisol rises with the coming of light. Energy flows gently into the bloodstream. Activity unfolds. Later, as evening approaches, those signals begin to soften once more. The cycle repeats day after day, a steady pattern aligned with the turning of Earth beneath the sun. And as you rest now, listening softly, your body continues to follow this rhythm. The signals that guided the day are gradually fading. The ones that encourage rest are beginning to grow stronger. Hormones shift their balance with the same calm patience that has supported life for countless generations. You do not need to guide them. The body already knows the timing. It has learned the rhythm of light and darkness, activity and rest, energy and calm. And within that rhythm lies a deeper story still, one that touches not only energy, but growth itself, the slow unfolding of the body across years guided by another set of quiet hormonal messages. Growth is one of the most patient stories the body ever tells. It does not happen all at once. It unfolds slowly, almost invisibly, like a tree extending its branches over many quiet seasons. From the moment life begins, tiny chemical signals guide the body through an extraordinary journey of development. Bones lengthen, muscles strengthen, and tissues renew themselves again and again, and all under the guidance of gentle hormonal instructions. Even now, long after childhood has passed, that process has not truly ended. your body continues to grow in quieter ways, repairing itself, renewing cells, and maintaining strength through signals that travel silently through the bloodstream. Among these signals is a hormone known as growth hormone. It is produced deep within the brain by the pituitary gland, a small structure that quietly coordinates many of the body's chemical messages. Growth hormone does not simply cause a sudden change in size or shape. Instead, it acts more like a steady encouragement, guiding tissues to develop, repair, and maintain themselves over time. In childhood and adolescence, its influence becomes especially visible. Bones lengthen gradually as growth plates respond to its signals. Our muscles develop strength as new proteins form within their fibers. Organs grow in proportion with the rest of the body, creating the balanced structure that allows movement, breathing, and circulation to function smoothly. Yet, growth hormone does not disappear once physical maturity is reached. It continues to play an important role throughout adulthood. Rather than increasing height or size, it shifts its focus toward maintenance and renewal. Cells within muscles receive signals that help them repair tiny strains caused by daily movement. Tissues replace worn-out components with fresh ones, maintaining strength and flexibility. You might imagine growth hormone as a quiet gardener moving through the landscape of the body. Wherever small damage appears, it encourages repair. Wherever tissues begin to weaken, it supports rebuilding. The process is gentle and steady, often unfolding while you sleep. Sleep itself is deeply connected to growth. During the deeper stages of sleep, the body releases higher levels of growth hormone. This is one of the reasons restful sleep feels so restoring. While the mind drifts through dreams or deep stillness, hormones quietly guide processes that repair muscles, strengthen bones, and renew countless cells. In this sense, sleep becomes a time of quiet construction. Your body uses the peaceful hours of night to rebuild itself piece by piece. Tiny repairs occur across tissues throughout the body. Proteins are assembled. Cells divide and replace older ones. All of this happens under the gentle influence of hormonal signals that encourage growth and renewal. Even the skin participates in this process. Skin cells renew themselves regularly, gradually replacing older layers with new ones that help protect the body from the outside world. Growth-related hormones support this cycle, allowing the skin to remain resilient and adaptable. The same signals influence the health of bones. Bone tissue might appear solid and unchanging, yet it is actually a living structure that renews itself continuously. Specialized cells remove small portions of older bone, while others replace them with fresh material. Growth hormone and related signals help maintain this delicate balance, ensuring that bones remain strong and flexible throughout life. Muscles also rely on these signals for maintenance. Whenever you move, lift, stretch, or walk, tiny microscopic strains occur within muscle fibers. These are not harmful. In fact, they are part of the normal process of strengthening muscles. A growth hormone encourages the repair of these fibers, helping them rebuild slightly stronger than before. Over time, this process allows muscles to adapt to the demands placed upon them. Yet, growth hormone rarely acts alone. It works alongside other hormones that influence metabolism, nutrition, and energy availability. Together, they ensure that the body has the resources it needs to build new tissues and maintain existing ones. For growth to occur, the body must carefully balance many factors. Nutrients from food provide raw materials for new cells. Oxygen carried by the bloodstream supports the energy needed for construction. Hormones coordinate these processes so that growth unfolds smoothly rather than chaotically. The body is remarkably patient in this work. Changes that seem small in a single day accumulate quietly over months and years. A child gradually becomes taller. Muscles slowly strengthen through daily activity. Bones adapt to the stresses of movement and gravity. Even in adulthood, when visible growth slows, the body continues this quiet maintenance. Every day, millions of cells reach the end of their natural lifespan and are replaced by new ones. This constant renewal keeps tissues functioning smoothly. Hormonal signals help guide the timing and pace of this process. You rarely notice it happening. Your attention moves through the events of life, while beneath the surface, a steady cycle of renewal continues. The body understands how to care for itself in this way. It does not rush growth. It allows time to do its work. Cells divide carefully. Tissues repair themselves gradually. Hormones guide each step with quiet precision. There is something deeply calming about this slow unfolding. Your body is not fragile or temporary in the way it might sometimes feel. It is resilient, designed to repair itself again and again. Even small injuries begin healing almost immediately, guided by chemical signals that mobilize cells to rebuild damaged areas. Growth hormone participates in many of these healing processes. When tissues are injured, the body increases signals that encourage cell division and repair. Blood vessels deliver nutrients to the affected area, while new cells gradually replace damaged ones. This careful rebuilding allows the body to restore balance. It is another reminder that growth is not only about becoming larger or stronger, it is also about maintaining harmony within the body's systems. Throughout life, hormonal signals quietly guide this harmony. They support the strength of bones, the flexibility of muscles, and the renewal of tissues that protect and sustain the body. They allow the body to adapt to change, to heal after strain, and to maintain stability through countless small adjustments. Even as you rest now, this work continues. Your body is quietly renewing itself, guided by signals that encourage repair and balance. Cells are being replaced, proteins are being assembled. Tiny adjustments unfold across tissues that support every movement you make. You do not need to supervise any of it. The instructions for growth and renewal are already written into your biology, carried through the bloodstream in the form of gentle chemical messages. As the night deepens and sleep grows closer, some of these signals begin to strengthen. Growth hormone will soon reach one of its natural peaks during deep sleep, supporting the body's nightly cycle of restoration. And yet, growth alone is not enough to sustain life. The body must also manage how energy flows through its cells, carefully balancing the fuel that powers every heartbeat, breath, and thought. A quiet, metabolic fire that burns steadily within you. Inside you, there is a quiet warmth that never goes out. It is not the heat of a flame you can see, nor the flicker of a candle in a dark room. Instead, it is a slow and steady fire that burns gently within every cell of your body. This fire is metabolism, the quiet process that turns the food you eat and the air you breathe into the energy that keeps life moving. Even now, as you lie still and allow your breathing to settle into a calm rhythm, this internal fire continues its patient work. Cells throughout your body are carefully transforming nutrients into usable energy. Molecules are broken apart and rearranged in tiny chemical steps, releasing small amounts of power that allow muscles to move, organs to function, and thoughts to form within the brain. This process happens quietly, without drama. It does not rush. Instead, metabolism unfolds like the slow burning of embers in a hearth, steady and controlled. Hormones play a guiding role in this process. They help regulate how quickly or slowly the body releases and uses its energy. Two of the most important participants in this delicate balance come from the thyroid gland and the pancreas, each contributing signals that help keep the body's internal fire at just the right intensity. The thyroid gland rests gently in the front of the neck, shaped a little like a butterfly spreading its wings. From this small and quiet structure come hormones that influence how actively the body's cells produce energy. When thyroid hormones circulate through the bloodstream, they enter cells and encourage chemical reactions that release warmth and vitality. You might imagine thyroid hormones as the quiet keepers of the body's thermostat. When their signals are balanced, the body produces just enough energy to support daily life. Cells convert nutrients at a steady pace. Body temperature remains comfortable. The heart beats with calm consistency. The thyroid does not act abruptly. Instead, it adjusts its signals gradually, ensuring that metabolism flows smoothly across hours and days. While the thyroid guides the overall pace of energy production, another gland helps manage the fuel that feeds this fire. The pancreas, resting deep within the abdomen, releases hormones that control how glucose moves through the bloodstream. Glucose is one of the body's most important energy sources, a simple sugar that cells can use to produce the energy they need for nearly every activity. After you eat a meal, nutrients are absorbed from the digestive system into the blood. Among them is glucose, which begins circulating throughout the body. If too much glucose remains in the blood, the pancreas responds by releasing a hormone called insulin. Insulin acts like a gentle guide, encouraging cells to absorb glucose and use it for energy or store it for later. In this way, it helps prevent energy from building up in one place while other cells remain in need. You can imagine insulin as a quiet key that unlocks doors on the surfaces of cells. When the key arrives, the doors open and glucose enters the cell, where it can be transformed into energy. This transformation takes place within tiny structures inside the cell called mitochondria. These microscopic components act like miniature power stations, using oxygen and nutrients to produce a molecule known as ATP. ATP carries energy that cells can use to perform their countless tasks. Muscle fibers contract using ATP. Nerve cells transmit signals. Organs maintain the careful balance of fluids and minerals that keeps the body stable. All of this depends on the quiet flow of metabolic energy. Yet metabolism is not simply about producing power. It is also about maintaining balance. The body must ensure that energy is available when needed, but it must also avoid producing too much heat or consuming fuel too quickly. Hormones help guide this balance with remarkable precision. When energy levels are sufficient, signals may encourage cells to store extra nutrients as glycogen or fat. When the body needs more energy, other hormones help release these stored fuels back into circulation. This process ensures that the body remains prepared for both activity and rest. During moments of movement, muscles draw on available glucose and stored energy. Breathing becomes slightly deeper, allowing more oxygen to enter the bloodstream. The metabolic fire burns a little brighter to support the work being done. When activity slows, metabolism gently returns to its resting pace. The body does not waste energy when it is not needed. Instead, it conserves its resources, maintaining the slow warmth that supports vital processes. Even during sleep, metabolism continues its steady rhythm. Your heart keeps beating. Your lungs draw in oxygen and release carbon dioxide. Cells repair themselves and replace worn-out components. The metabolic fire burns quietly through the night, ensuring that life continues smoothly while the mind rests. One of the most remarkable aspects of metabolism is its universality. Every living cell depends on this quiet transformation of energy. From the neurons in your brain to the fibers in your muscles, each cell participates in the same fundamental process, converting nutrients into the energy required for life. And yet, despite this constant activity, metabolism rarely demands your attention. You do not need to think about how your cells generate energy. You do not need to supervise the chemical reactions that unfold within them. Hormones guide these processes automatically, adjusting their pace according to the needs of the body. The thyroid sets the general tempo of metabolic activity. The pancreas regulates the flow of fuel. Other hormones contribute smaller adjustments, helping maintain the delicate balance between energy production and energy conservation. Together, they create a metabolic rhythm that flows quietly beneath your awareness. You might imagine this rhythm as a landscape warmed by a steady sun. Energy flows through the terrain of the body, nourishing cells the way sunlight nourishes plants in a quiet meadow. Nothing is hurried, nothing is wasted. The warmth spreads gently, supporting life with quiet consistency. Even small changes in daily life influence this landscape. Physical activity encourages cells to use energy more actively. Meals provide fresh nutrients that replenish the body's stores. Periods of rest allow metabolic processes to settle into a calmer pace. Through it all, hormones remain attentive guides. They observe the body's needs, release signals when adjustments are required, and then soften their influence once balance has returned. This patience is one of the great strengths of the endocrine system. Rather than forcing abrupt changes, it prefers gradual shifts that keep the body stable. Metabolism adapts slowly, ensuring that the internal fire remains steady and sustainable. And as you rest now, breathing slowly and allowing your muscles to relax, that quiet fire continues to glow within you. Cells are receiving energy. Chemical reactions unfold with calm precision. Hormones drift through the bloodstream, guiding the pace of life at the smallest scale. Yet metabolism does more than support movement and warmth. The energy it provides also fuels the intricate processes that shape your thoughts, feelings, and connections with others, reminding us that chemistry within the body reaches far beyond physical energy alone. Emotions often feel mysterious, like weather moving through the mind. Some days the sky of thought is clear and bright. Other days it becomes cloudy, quiet, reflective, or gently restless. Yet beneath these shifting feelings lies a calm and steady biological landscape, shaped in part by the quiet movement of hormones through the body. Your emotions are not simply thoughts drifting through the mind. They are also physical experiences, carried by signals that move through the bloodstream and through delicate pathways in the brain. Hormones play a subtle role in shaping these emotional tides, influencing how you experience calmness, connection, and contentment. They do not control your feelings in a rigid way. Instead, they create a background environment, much like the temperature of the air influences how comfortable a place feels. When the hormonal landscape is balanced, emotions often feel steady and manageable. When signals shift, emotional states may gently change as well. One of the most comforting hormones involved in emotional life is oxytocin. Oxytocin is often associated with connection between people. It is released during moments of trust, kindness, and closeness. A warm conversation, a comforting hug, or even the simple presence of someone who makes you feel safe can encourage the brain to release small amounts of this hormone. When oxytocin enters the bloodstream, it influences areas of the brain that shape emotional experience. It helps reduce the intensity of fear signals and supports feelings of warmth and trust. Many researchers believe this hormone helps strengthen social bonds, allowing humans to cooperate and care for one another. You might imagine oxytocin as a quiet signal of belonging. It gently reminds the body that it is safe to relax in the presence of others. Muscles soften slightly. The mind becomes more open and calm. Even the rhythm of the heart may settle into a more peaceful pattern. Yet oxytocin does not act alone. Another chemical messenger that contributes to emotional balance is serotonin. Unlike many hormones that travel widely through the bloodstream, serotonin works primarily within the brain itself, helping regulate mood, sleep patterns, and feelings of well-being. Serotonin participates in countless tiny interactions between nerve cells. When its signals flow smoothly, many people experience a sense of calm stability in their mood. Thoughts feel organized. Emotional responses become easier to manage. Sunlight, physical movement, and nourishing food can all influence serotonin activity. Even simple daily rhythms, such as walking outdoors during daylight or resting at regular times, can help support the natural patterns that keep serotonin signals balanced. In this way, emotional well-being becomes closely linked to the rhythms of the body. Your brain is not isolated from the rest of your biology. It listens carefully to hormonal signals, responding to changes in the bloodstream with adjustments in mood and perception. Another hormone quietly participating in emotional life is dopamine. Dopamine is often associated with motivation and reward. When you complete a meaningful task or experience something enjoyable, dopamine signals may increase, creating a sense of satisfaction and encouragement. Rather than producing loud excitement, dopamine often works more subtly. It gently reinforces behaviors that help sustain life, such as eating nourishing food, forming social connections, or exploring new environments. You might think of dopamine as a soft encouragement within the brain, guiding attention toward experiences that support well-being. The balance of these signals helps shape how emotional states rise and fall throughout the day. But emotions are not sudden storms appearing from nowhere. Most emotional changes unfold gradually, influenced by the slow movement of hormones and neurotransmitters through the body. This means that your feelings often have biological rhythms beneath them. Morning light can support signals that encourage alertness and positive mood. Calm evening routines can allow stress-related hormones to decline. Gentle social interactions can trigger oxytocin and dopamine, strengthening feelings of connection. Over time, these small influences create patterns that shape emotional experience. The body and brain form a continuous conversation. Hormones carry information about sleep, energy levels, nutrition, and social interaction. The brain interprets these signals and adjusts emotional responses accordingly. When the body feels balanced, emotions often reflect that stability. Even moments of sadness or anxiety are part of this natural system. Hormones such as cortisol may rise temporarily when the brain perceives challenge or uncertainty. These signals prepare the body to respond and adapt. Once the challenge passes, the system gradually returns to balance. Hormone levels fall, breathing slows, and the mind regains a calmer perspective. This ability to move through emotional changes is one of the quiet strengths of the human body. Your emotional life is not static. It flows gently like tides across the shoreline of awareness, guided by signals that rise and fall beneath the surface. Many of these processes happen without conscious effort. The brain continuously monitors the body's internal environment. It listens to hormone levels, sensory input, and past experiences. From this information, it shapes emotional responses that help you navigate the world. Yet it is important to remember that emotions are never determined by hormones alone. Thoughts, memories, relationships, and experiences all contribute to how feelings emerge. Hormones simply create a background landscape in which those experiences unfold. When this landscape is calm and balanced, emotional waves tend to move gently rather than dramatically. And the body has many ways of supporting that balance. Regular sleep allows emotional signals to reset and reorganize. Physical movement helps regulate hormone levels that influence mood. Quiet moments of relaxation allow stress-related hormones to decline. Even breathing slowly can influence emotional chemistry. When your breath becomes calm and steady, signals from the nervous system begin to encourage relaxation. Heart rate slows, muscles loosen, hormonal signals associated with calmness become more prominent. This is one reason restful environments feel so comforting. When the body senses safety and quiet, it gradually shifts toward hormonal patterns that support peace and emotional balance. You may notice this happening right now. As you listen softly and allow the world around you to fade into stillness, your body receives signals that it can relax. Stress-related hormones slowly decline. The mind becomes less focused on solving problems and more open to quiet reflection. It is a natural transition. There is nothing you need to force or control. The endocrine system already understands how to guide these changes. Hormones drift through the bloodstream like gentle currents in a wide ocean, influencing countless small processes that shape how you feel. Sometimes, the waves of emotion rise slightly. At other times, they settle into calm waters. But beneath it all remains a steady biological rhythm, patiently supporting the mind and body together. And as the body settles further into rest, another group of hormonal signals begins preparing for the deep restoration that occurs during sleep, guiding the quiet maintenance and renewal that unfolds through the long, peaceful hours of night. Night arrives in the body with a quiet kind of intelligence. Long before you drift into sleep, our subtle signals begin preparing your cells for the deep and patient work that unfolds after the world grows still. Muscles soften. Thoughts loosen their grip on the events of the day. Breathing slows into a rhythm that feels steady and calm. While you rest, the body does not become inactive. Instead, it enters one of its most important periods of renewal. Sleep is often described as rest for the mind, but inside the body, it is also a time of careful maintenance. Hormones begin guiding a series of quiet processes that repair tissues, support the immune system, and restore the balance of countless tiny systems that have worked throughout the day. You might imagine the sleeping body as a peaceful laboratory. Lights are dim, movement is slow, and gentle processes continue quietly in the background. Cells communicate with one another. Our molecules move through delicate pathways. Hormones act as soft instructions that guide this careful restoration. Among the signals that become more active during sleep is growth hormone. Earlier, you heard how this hormone supports the development and maintenance of tissues. During the deepest stages of sleep, its release increases. This allows the body to focus on repairing muscles, strengthening bones, and renewing cells that have experienced strain during the day. If you have walked, stretched, lifted objects, or simply carried your body through daily life, tiny microscopic stresses may have formed within muscle fibers. These are normal and expected. When growth hormone rises during sleep, it encourages those fibers to repair themselves. In the quiet darkness of night, tissues rebuild slowly and carefully. The same signals assist in the renewal of skin cells. Your skin acts as a protective boundary between your body and the outside world. Each day, it encounters sunlight, wind, and countless environmental influences. During sleep, hormonal signals support the replacement of older cells with fresh ones, helping the skin remain strong and resilient. Even the bones participate in this nightly renewal. Bone tissue might appear rigid and unchanging, yet it is actually alive with activity. Specialized cells constantly remove tiny portions of older bone, while others replace them with newly formed material. Hormones help coordinate this balance, ensuring that bones maintain their strength while adapting to the stresses of movement and gravity. Meanwhile, another essential system quietly receives support during sleep: the immune system. Throughout the day, immune cells patrol the body, identifying and responding to potential threats such as bacteria or viruses. During sleep, hormonal signals help regulate the activity of these cells, encouraging them to perform their work efficiently. Certain hormones encourage the release of molecules that assist immune cells in communicating with one another. This communication helps the body recognize unfamiliar invaders and coordinate appropriate responses. Sleep also allows immune cells to circulate more effectively through the bloodstream and lymphatic system. You might imagine these cells as gentle guardians moving through the quiet streets of a city at night. While most of the city rests, they continue their watch, maintaining safety and balance. This process becomes more effective when the body receives consistent and restful sleep. During the night, hormone levels shift in ways that encourage inflammation to settle and repair processes to begin. The body focuses on restoring equilibrium after the many activities of the day. Another important function supported during sleep involves the brain itself. Throughout waking hours, the brain processes enormous amounts of information. Sensory experiences, memories, emotions, and decisions all leave traces within networks of nerve cells. Sleep provides a time when the brain can reorganize and refine these connections. Hormonal signals contribute to this process as well. They help regulate the movement of fluids that wash through brain tissue, carrying away metabolic byproducts that accumulate during waking activity. This cleansing process supports the long-term health of nerve cells and helps maintain the clarity of brain function. You might imagine this as a quiet river flowing gently through the brain's landscape, washing away the small residues of daily thought. While this happens, other hormonal signals assist in organizing memories. Experiences that feel important may be strengthened within neural networks, while less relevant details gradually fade. This careful sorting allows the brain to learn and adapt while maintaining efficiency. All of these processes occur without effort from you. There is nothing you need to monitor, control, or guide. The body already understands the rhythm of restoration. Hormones simply deliver the signals that allow these processes to unfold smoothly. Even breathing participates in this quiet recovery. As sleep deepens, breathing becomes slower and more regular. Oxygen continues to nourish cells throughout the body, supporting the chemical reactions that repair tissues and maintain balance. The heart beats steadily, circulating nutrients and hormones through the bloodstream. Organs continue their work with calm efficiency. In many ways, sleep becomes a time when the body returns to its natural baseline. Signals that supported daytime alertness gradually decline. Hormones associated with repair and recovery become more prominent. Muscles relax. The mind drifts through gentle cycles of dreaming and deep rest. These rhythms repeat across the night in patterns that the brain carefully orchestrates. Each cycle provides opportunities for different kinds of restoration. Some stages support physical repair. Others assist memory processing and emotional balance. Together, they create the sense of renewal that often follows a good night's sleep. When you awaken after restful sleep, you may feel clearer in mind and lighter in body. That feeling is the result of countless quiet processes guided by hormones through the night. Cells have repaired themselves. Energy reserves have been replenished. The immune system has strengthened its defenses. The body has returned closer to equilibrium. Even now, as you listen and allow your thoughts to soften, these restorative signals may already be preparing for the hours ahead. Melatonin continues to encourage the body towards sleep. Growth hormone waits for deeper stages of rest to begin its work. Other hormones adjust their levels gradually, ensuring that the body enters sleep smoothly rather than abruptly. The night becomes a gentle partnership between stillness and chemistry. Your role in this partnership is simple: allow rest to happen. There is nothing you need to solve or accomplish in this moment. The body already knows how to carry out its quiet maintenance. It has done so every night of your life. And as sleep deepens, other subtle hormonal signals continue guiding the body's needs, including the delicate balance that shapes hunger, fullness, and the quiet communication between the brain and the digestive system. Within your body, quiet conversations are always taking place. Signals move through the bloodstream, passing gentle messages between organs that rarely need to raise their voices. Among these conversations is one that most people recognize easily, though its deeper workings often remain unnoticed. It is the calm dialogue between hunger and satisfaction, the body's way of guiding when to seek nourishment and when to rest in contentment. Hunger does not appear suddenly without reason. It grows gradually, shaped by subtle hormonal signals that inform the brain about the body's current energy needs. These signals rise and fall like gentle tides, guiding your awareness toward food when fuel becomes necessary. One of the hormones closely connected to this feeling is ghrelin. Ghrelin is produced primarily in the stomach, and it travels through the bloodstream to reach areas of the brain that help regulate appetite. When the body has gone some time without food, ghrelin levels slowly increase. As this hormone rises, it gently encourages awareness of hunger. You might notice this as a soft sensation in the stomach, a quiet reminder that energy stores are beginning to run low. The brain receives the ghrelin signal and begins to guide attention toward the possibility of eating. This process is not abrupt. Ghrelin rises gradually, allowing the body to communicate its needs in a calm and measured way. Once food is eaten and digestion begins, ghrelin levels begin to fall again. The message of hunger fades as the body recognizes that nourishment has arrived. But hunger is only one side of the conversation. The body also carries signals that help create the feeling of fullness and satisfaction after eating. One of the most important of these signals is a hormone known as leptin. Leptin is produced by fat cells throughout the body. Rather than responding immediately to a single meal, leptin reflects the body's overall energy reserves. When fat stores are sufficient, leptin travels through the bloodstream and informs the brain that the body has enough energy available. This signal helps regulate appetite over longer periods of time. If leptin levels are balanced, the brain receives reassurance that the body does not need to constantly seek additional fuel. Hunger signals soften, allowing eating patterns to remain steady and moderate. You might imagine leptin as a quiet message of reassurance, reminding the brain that the body's energy reserves are secure. The interaction between ghrelin and leptin forms a gentle system of balance. One hormone encourages the search for food when energy is needed. The other signals when the body has received enough nourishment. Together, they guide the natural rhythm of appetite. Yet the conversation between hunger and satisfaction involves more than these two hormones alone. Other signals also contribute to the experience of eating and fullness. When food enters the digestive system, the stomach and intestines release hormones that communicate with the brain about the progress of digestion. Some of these signals slow the movement of food through the stomach, allowing time for nutrients to be absorbed. Others travel to the brain and contribute to the feeling of satiety, the comfortable sense that enough food has been consumed. This process allows eating to remain a balanced exchange between the body and the brain. As digestion unfolds, signals rise gently and inform the brain that nourishment is arriving. Appetite gradually decreases. The body begins shifting its attention from seeking food toward processing the nutrients it has received. You might imagine this process as a quiet dinner conversation between different organs. The stomach shares information about how full it has become. The intestines report the progress of digestion. Fat cells provide updates about the body's longer-term energy stores. The brain listens to all of these signals and responds by shaping the feeling of hunger or satisfaction. None of these messages require conscious effort. You do not need to monitor hormone levels or calculate energy needs in order for this system to function. The endocrine system manages these signals automatically, adjusting them moment by moment according to the body's needs. Sleep, movement, and emotional states can also influence these hormonal signals. For example, restful sleep helps maintain balanced patterns of ghrelin and leptin. When sleep is consistent, the body tends to regulate appetite more smoothly. Signals of hunger and fullness remain clearer and more predictable. Physical activity also contributes to this balance. Movement encourages the body to use energy stored in muscles and fat. Hormonal signals adjust accordingly, helping coordinate when the body should seek additional fuel. Even emotional states can influence appetite signals. Stress hormones sometimes shift the balance between hunger and fullness, reminding us that the endocrine system connects many aspects of the body's experience. Yet, when the body returns to calm, hormonal signals gradually settle again. The remarkable thing about this system is its patience. Hunger signals do not rush or demand immediate attention. They rise slowly, giving the body time to respond naturally. Satisfaction signals also unfold gently, allowing the brain to recognize when nourishment has been received. This slow rhythm helps protect balance within the body. If hunger signals were too strong or sudden, eating patterns could become chaotic. If fullness signals arrive too late, the body might struggle to maintain steady energy. Instead, hormones guide the process with quiet precision. The result is a system that encourages nourishment while preserving equilibrium. Even during sleep, this hormonal conversation continues. As the body rests, ghrelin and leptin adjust their levels in response to the body's current energy stores. Digestion slows, and the body focuses on maintenance and repair rather than the search for food. When morning arrives, signals gradually shift again. Hormones begin preparing the body for activity, and appetite signals may slowly reappear as the day begins. These rhythms connect metabolism, digestion, and energy balance into a single coordinated system. Each hormone contributes a gentle message that helps the body maintain harmony. And as you rest quietly now, breathing slowly and allowing the mind to drift, your body continues managing these signals with calm efficiency. There is nothing you need to control. The endocrine system already understands the balance between hunger and satisfaction. It listens patiently to the needs of the body, adjusting its signals like a quiet conversation that never truly stops. And beyond this conversation about nourishment lies another long and gentle story written in hormones, now one that unfolds across the years as the body moves through the steady passage of time. Time moves quietly through the body. You may notice it in small ways over the years. A child grows taller. Strength deepens and changes. Hair may lighten or silver. Energy shifts with the seasons of life. Yet beneath these visible changes lies something more subtle, a slow adjustment of chemical signals that guide the body through each stage of living. Hormones participate in this long journey from the very beginning. From infancy through adulthood and into later years, the endocrine system continues its quiet conversation with every cell. Signals rise, soften, and change their patterns, helping the body adapt to the needs of each chapter of life. You might imagine the body as a landscape moving through seasons. In early life, hormonal signals encourage growth and development. The bones lengthen, muscles strengthen, and organs learn their roles within the wider system. The body gathers energy and resources, building the foundations that will support decades of living. During adolescence, hormonal rhythms become more active. Signals from the brain encourage the release of hormones that guide physical maturation. The body begins developing adult characteristics, and emotional awareness deepens alongside these changes. The endocrine system coordinates this transformation with remarkable precision, ensuring that development unfolds gradually rather than all at once. Yet, even in these years of visible change, the body continues to follow its patient rhythm. Hormones rise and fall in cycles that guide sleep, metabolism, mood, and growth. The endocrine system acts like a careful steward, adjusting its signals according to the body's evolving needs. As adulthood settles in, these rhythms become steadier. Growth slows, but maintenance becomes the focus. Hormones continue supporting the strength of bones, the repair of tissues, and the balance of energy throughout daily life. Cells renew themselves quietly, replacing older structures with fresh ones. The body becomes skilled at maintaining equilibrium. During these years, hormonal patterns help coordinate a wide range of functions. They guide how nutrients are processed, how muscles respond to activity, and how the immune system defends against illness. They also influence emotional balance and the rhythms of sleep and wakefulness. Life moves forward with a steady biological tempo. But the endocrine system never remains completely fixed. Over time, hormone levels shift slowly as the body continues adapting to changing circumstances. These shifts are a natural part of aging. Rather than representing failure or loss, they reflect the body's ongoing effort to recalibrate its internal environment. Just as the seasons of nature bring different patterns of growth and rest, the body adjusts its chemical signals to match the stage of life it occupies. Some hormones that were abundant during youth gradually decline. Growth hormone, for example, becomes less prominent as the body moves beyond its most active years of development. Yet this change does not mean that growth or repair disappears entirely. Instead, the body shifts toward a slower rhythm of maintenance. Tissues continue to renew themselves, though often at a more measured pace. Bones still rebuild their structure. Muscles respond to movement and activity. Skin continues replacing older cells with new ones. Hormones quietly support these processes, ensuring that the body remains resilient and adaptable. Other hormonal signals also change with time. Certain reproductive hormones fluctuate throughout adulthood and eventually settle into new patterns later in life. These changes influence many aspects of physiology, including metabolism, bone health, and emotional rhythms. Yet even as these signals adjust, the endocrine system continues its essential role of maintaining balance. The body remains remarkably capable of adaptation. Cells respond to hormonal cues with flexibility, adjusting their activity according to the signals they receive. If one hormone declines, others may help compensate by guiding related processes in slightly different ways. This capacity for adjustment is one of the quiet strengths of human biology. The body does not resist change. Instead, it adapts to it. Across decades of living, the endocrine system remains an active participant in this adaptation. Hormones continue communicating between organs, helping maintain stability even as conditions evolve. You might think of this process as a long conversation between time and biology. The body listens carefully to the passing years, adjusting its rhythms with patience. Hormonal signals shift their patterns, supporting new balances that allow life to continue unfolding. In many ways, aging becomes a gentle recalibration rather than a sudden transformation. Daily cycles of sleep and wakefulness still occur. Energy continues to flow through metabolic pathways. Cells carry out their work of repair and renewal. Hormones remain the quiet messengers that guide these processes. The pace may become slower, but the system remains deeply coordinated. And there is something reassuring about this continuity. Your body carries within it the knowledge of how to adapt through every stage of life. Hormones help guide this journey without demanding constant attention or effort. Even now, As you rest and allow your breathing to settle into calm rhythms, the endocrine system continues its quiet work. Signals drift through the bloodstream. Cells respond. Organs communicate through the language of chemistry. The body adjusts itself gently to the present moment. There is no urgency in this process. Time moves forward at its own pace, and the body follows with steady patience. Hormones rise and fall in patterns shaped by years of experience and adaptation. This ongoing conversation between hormones and time reminds us that biology is never static. It is a living rhythm that continues evolving with every passing day. And at the center of this rhythm lies the brain, where another quiet exchange unfolds, a dialogue between thoughts, sensations, and hormones that shape how the mind and body respond to the world together. Deep within your head, protected by bone and cushioned by gentle layers of fluid, the brain continues its quiet work. Even while you rest and allow your thoughts to drift slowly, countless signals move through delicate networks of cells, carrying information from one place to another. Some of these signals travel as electrical impulses along nerve pathways, quick and precise. Others move more slowly through the bloodstream as hormones, drifting calmly toward distant organs. The remarkable thing is that these two forms of communication do not operate separately. Instead, they form a quiet partnership. The brain and the endocrine system speak to one another constantly. You might imagine this relationship as a conversation between two attentive listeners. The brain observes the world through your senses, noticing light, sound, temperature, and countless subtle details. At the same time, it listens to signals arriving from inside the body. Heart rate, breathing patterns, hunger levels, and hormone concentrations all send information back toward the brain. These messages help the brain understand the body's current condition. At the center of this conversation lies a small yet remarkable structure known as the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus rests deep within the brain, close to the area that monitors the body's internal environment. Though it is no larger than a small cluster of cells, its role is profound. It acts as a bridge between the nervous system and the endocrine system, translating signals from the brain into hormonal messages that travel through the bloodstream. You might think of the hypothalamus as a quiet interpreter. It listens carefully to signals about the body's temperature, energy levels, emotional state, and time of day. When adjustments are needed, it releases chemical signals that travel a very short distance to another important structure nearby. That structure is the pituitary gland. The pituitary rests just beneath the hypothalamus, connected by a thin stalk of tissue. Because of its central coordinating role, it is often described as one of the body's master glands. Yet the pituitary does not make decisions on its own. Instead, it responds to instructions from the hypothalamus. When the hypothalamus releases certain chemical signals, the pituitary responds by releasing hormones into the bloodstream. These hormones travel throughout the body, guiding other glands such as the thyroid, adrenal glands, and reproductive organs. Through this process, the brain influences hormone activity across the entire body. If the brain senses that the body needs more energy, signals from the hypothalamus encourage the pituitary to release hormones that stimulate the thyroid gland. The thyroid then adjusts metabolic activity, influencing how quickly cells use fuel. If the brain detects stress or challenge, signals may encourage the adrenal glands to release hormones that prepare the body for action. But when calm returns, the hypothalamus gradually softens these signals, allowing hormone levels to settle again. This careful regulation helps maintain balance throughout the body. Another remarkable feature of this system is feedback. When hormones reach their target organs and begin influencing cells, those organs send signals back toward the brain. These signals inform the hypothalamus and pituitary about how the body is responding. If hormone levels become high enough, the brain reduces its instructions, allowing the glands to slow their release. If levels fall too low, the brain may increase its signals. You see, in this way, the brain and endocrine system remain in constant dialogue. The process is similar to a conversation where each participant listens carefully and adjusts their response based on what the other has said. This feedback keeps hormone levels within ranges that support stability. Without it, signals might rise too quickly or fall too far. Instead, the system maintains equilibrium through gentle adjustments. The hypothalamus also helps coordinate many of the body's daily rhythms. It receives information about light entering the eyes, which helps regulate the timing of sleep and wakefulness. It monitors body temperature and influences behaviors that help maintain comfort. It also participates in regulating thirst, hunger, and emotional responses. All of these functions rely on communication between the brain and endocrine system. Hormones carry information outward to the body's organs, while nerve signals carry information inward toward the brain. You might imagine this exchange as a wide network of pathways connecting every region of the body. Messages travel constantly along these pathways, forming a steady stream of communication that helps maintain balance. Even your thoughts and emotions participate in this exchange. When the brain experiences joy, curiosity, or calmness, hormonal patterns often shift gently in response. Signals associated with relaxation may increase, while stress-related hormones decline. Likewise, when the body experiences physical changes such as hunger or fatigue, the brain receives those signals and adjusts perception accordingly. This partnership reminds us that the mind and body are deeply connected. What you feel emotionally can influence hormone activity, and hormonal signals can shape emotional experience. The hypothalamus quietly manages this exchange, ensuring that communication flows smoothly between brain and body. It is not a loud or dramatic process. Instead, it unfolds with remarkable patience. Signals move through the bloodstream like gentle currents in a river. Nerve impulses travel along pathways like whispers carried across a quiet landscape. Cells receive their instructions and respond accordingly. And all of it happens beneath the surface of awareness. You do not need to direct these processes consciously. Your brain and endocrine system have evolved together over millions of years, learning how to coordinate countless biological functions with extraordinary precision. Even now, as you listen softly and allow your thoughts to drift, this conversation continues. The hypothalamus monitors the body's internal environment. The pituitary releases hormones according to the brain's instructions. Glands throughout the body respond, adjusting their signals in response. And then those glands send information back again. It is a cycle of communication that never truly stops. Yet despite its complexity, the system remains calm and balanced. Hormones rise gradually. Feedback signals adjust their levels. Cells respond with steady patience. The result is a body that maintains harmony across many different systems at once. Breathing, digestion, sleep, Temperature regulation, emotional balance, and energy use all remain connected through this network of signals. The brain listens carefully to the body, and the body listens carefully to the brain. Together, they create a quiet partnership that guides your experience of life. And within that partnership lies an even deeper principle that shapes the entire endocrine system: the gentle art of maintaining balance, a state scientists often describe as homeostasis. Inside you, countless processes are unfolding at this very moment, each one guided by signals that rise and fall with quiet precision. Your heart continues its steady rhythm. Your lungs draw in air and release it again with calm patience. Cells throughout the body carry out chemical reactions that sustain life from one breath to the next. And yet, despite this constant activity, the body remains remarkably stable. Temperature stays within a narrow and comfortable range. The levels of sugar in the blood rarely swing wildly. In fluids remain balanced. Even the concentration of minerals in the bloodstream remains carefully regulated. This remarkable stability is known as homeostasis. Homeostasis is the body's ability to maintain internal balance, even while the world outside continues to change. It is not a rigid or fixed state. Instead, it is a dynamic process of adjustment, a quiet effort by the body to remain steady as circumstances shift. Hormones play a central role in guiding this balance. You might imagine the body as a calm lake. When something disturbs its surface, perhaps a breeze or a falling leaf, gentle ripples appear. Yet, after a short time, the water settles again. The surface becomes smooth once more. Hormones act like the quiet forces that allow that lake to settle. When conditions inside the body begin to shift, the hormonal signals move through the bloodstream to guide adjustments. If energy levels drop, hormones help release fuel stored in tissues. If the body grows too warm, signals encourage cooling processes such as increased circulation to the skin. These adjustments unfold without urgency. The endocrine system rarely pushes the body towards sudden extremes. Instead, it nudges conditions gradually back toward balance. One example of this quiet correction involves blood sugar. After a meal, nutrients enter the bloodstream and glucose levels begin to rise. The pancreas notices this change and releases insulin, a hormone that helps guide glucose into cells where it can be used for energy. As glucose levels begin to fall again, the release of insulin slows. Other hormones may help release small amounts of stored glucose when needed. Through this careful exchange, blood sugar remains within a stable range. A similar balance appears in the regulation of body temperature. When you step into a warm environment, the body begins to release heat through the skin. Blood vessels near the surface widen slightly, allowing warmth to move outward. Sweat glands may release moisture that cools the skin as it evaporates. Hormones contribute to this regulation by influencing metabolic activity and circulation. If the environment becomes cooler, the body responds in different ways. Blood vessels narrow slightly to conserve heat. Metabolism may increase gently to produce warmth within cells. The goal in each case remains the same: balance. This balancing act extends to many other aspects of the body's internal environment. Water levels must remain carefully regulated so that cells maintain their proper shape and function. Minerals such as sodium and potassium must remain within precise ranges to support nerve signals and muscle contractions. Hormones quietly help guide these adjustments. Some hormones influence how the kidneys manage fluids, encouraging them to conserve water when the body becomes dehydrated or release excess fluid when levels rise too high. Others help regulate minerals that influence bone strength and nerve activity. You might think of the endocrine system as a network of gentle caretakers. Each hormone carries information about a particular aspect of the body's condition. When something begins to shift, signals travel through the bloodstream to organs that can help restore equilibrium. The process is subtle and continuous. At any moment, dozens of hormonal messages may be circulating through the body, each contributing a small adjustment that helps maintain stability. Even the emotional state of the body participates in this balancing process. When the brain perceives stress or challenge, certain hormones rise temporarily, preparing the body for action. Heart rate increases slightly, breathing deepens, muscles become ready for movement. Once the challenge passes, hormonal signals gradually return to calmer levels. Breathing slows, muscles relax, the body settles back into equilibrium. This ability to return to balance is one of the great strengths of the endocrine system. Rather than holding the body in a rigid state, hormones allow it to adapt gracefully to changing conditions. Every meal, every movement, every breath introduces small variations in the internal environment. Hormones help guide the body through these variations, ensuring that stability is maintained. You rarely notice these adjustments. While you move through your daily life, the endocrine system quietly manages countless details behind the scenes. Cells receive instructions, organs respond, and feedback signals travel back to the brain. The body is constantly checking itself, listening for changes, and responding with gentle corrections. This constant listening helps explain why the body remains so resilient. Even when conditions shift, the endocrine system works patiently to restore balance. It does not expect perfection. Instead, it allows small fluctuations, guiding the body gradually back toward its steady state. Homeostasis is not about stillness. It is about harmony. Just as a piece of music remains balanced, even while different instruments rise and fall, the body maintains stability through the coordinated activity of many systems working together. Hormones are among the quiet conductors of this harmony. They carry messages between organs, guiding adjustments that keep the body functioning smoothly. And even when you rest, allowing your thoughts to drift slowly through the quiet hours of night, this balancing process continues. Your breathing remains steady. Your heart moves blood through vessels that nourish every cell. Hormones drift through the bloodstream, helping maintain the delicate equilibrium that supports life. There is nothing you need to do to assist this process. Your body has been practicing it since the moment you were born. Every day, every night, the endocrine system continues its patient work of maintaining balance. And as this quiet balance settles within you, it becomes easier to notice something even wider. The way these same chemical signals appear not only in humans, but throughout the living world, connecting life through a shared language of hormones. As you rest quietly and allow your thoughts to wander, it can be comforting to remember that the chemical language moving through your body is not unique to you. The gentle signals you have been hearing about throughout this journey belong to a much larger story, one that stretches across forests, oceans, deserts, and quiet meadows beneath the night sky. Hormones are part of a universal conversation shared by living things. Humans experience them through the rhythms of sleep, growth, emotion, and energy. Yet animals, plants, and even the smallest microscopic organisms rely on similar chemical signals to guide their own lives. Nature, in many ways, speaks through chemistry. Across the living world, tiny molecules carry instructions that help organisms grow, adapt, and respond to their surroundings. These signals move through tissues and fluids, much the way hormones travel through the bloodstream in your body. In animals, hormonal communication often resembles the patterns you have already discovered within yourself. Mammals release signals that regulate sleep cycles, reproduction, metabolism, and emotional behavior. Birds rely on hormonal rhythms that guide seasonal migration and nesting patterns. Even fish in the deep ocean respond to chemical signals that influence growth and development. You might imagine the entire animal kingdom as sharing a quiet biological language. Though each species expresses it in slightly different ways, the basic idea remains the same. Hormones act as messengers, carrying information between organs so that the body can respond to changes in the environment. When daylight lengthens in spring, many animals experience shifts in hormonal activity. These changes can encourage mating behavior, migration, or the growth of new feathers and fur. As autumn arrives and daylight fades, hormones help guide animals toward different patterns of rest, feeding, or hibernation. These seasonal rhythms reflect the same principles you have already seen within the human body. Light influences the brain. The brain influences hormone release. Hormones guide behavior and physiology in response. But the story extends even further. Plants also rely on chemical signals that function very much like hormones. Though plants do not have brains or nervous systems, they still communicate internally through molecules that guide growth and development. These plant hormones move through stems, leaves, and roots, helping coordinate how the plant responds to sunlight, gravity, and water. One group of plant hormones encourages cells to elongate, allowing stems to reach toward light. Another group helps regulate the growth of roots, guiding them deeper into the soil where water and nutrients can be found. Even the timing of flowering often depends on chemical signals. As the length of daylight changes through the seasons, plants release hormones that trigger the formation of blossoms. These signals ensure that flowers appear when pollinators are most active and environmental conditions are favorable. You might picture a quiet garden responding to invisible instructions. Within every stem and leaf, tiny molecules carry messages that guide how the plant grows. When sunlight touches the leaves, chemical signals adjust growth patterns so the plant can capture as much energy as possible. When water becomes scarce, other signals help conserve moisture and slow growth until conditions improve. These chemical conversations unfold silently, yet they shape entire landscapes. Forests grow tall under the influence of these signals. Fields of flowers open at particular times of year. Trees release leaves in spring and allow them to fall again when autumn arrives. Even microorganisms participate in this language of chemistry. Bacteria release molecules that allow them to sense the presence of others nearby. Through this process, sometimes called quorum sensing, tiny organisms coordinate their behavior in ways that help them survive. When enough bacteria gather together, chemical signals encourage them to form protective communities or produce substances that support their growth. Though these organisms are far smaller than the cells in your body, the principle remains similar. Chemical messages guide behavior. Life, at every scale, relies on signals that carry information between cells. This shared language reveals something remarkable about the living world. Across millions of species and countless ecosystems, similar strategies have evolved to help organisms coordinate their internal processes. Hormones, or hormone-like signals, appear again and again as reliable messengers that guide growth, adaptation, and balance. You might imagine the planet itself as filled with quiet chemical conversations. In the oceans, tiny plankton respond to hormonal cues that influence reproduction and population cycles. Coral reefs rely on chemical signals that coordinate spawning events among thousands of organisms at once. On land, insects release hormones that guide their transformation from larva to adult. Caterpillars become butterflies through carefully timed hormonal changes that reorganize the body during metamorphosis. Each of these processes follows a pattern of signals that rise and fall with remarkable precision. Just as your body adjusts its internal chemistry to guide sleep, growth, and energy, other living beings follow their own rhythms shaped by chemical messengers. Nature becomes a vast network of biological communication. The hormones flowing through your bloodstream are part of that wider system. They belong to a long evolutionary story that connects humans with animals, plants, and microscopic life. Every organism depends on signals that help it adapt to changing conditions. Hormones provide one of the most elegant ways to carry those signals across the body. Even the simplest organisms rely on chemical cues to guide their behavior. From the deepest ocean to the tallest forests, life responds to these invisible messages. And in a quiet way, this shared chemical language reminds us that living things are not isolated from one another. They are connected by common biological strategies that help life persist across countless environments. Your own endocrine system reflects this long history. The hormones guiding your sleep, metabolism, emotions, and growth belong to patterns that evolved over immense stretches of time. They are part of a biological heritage shared with many forms of life on Earth. Even now, as you rest and allow your breathing to become slow and steady, your body continues participating in that universal conversation. Signals drift through your bloodstream. Cells respond with quiet adjustments. Balance returns again and again through the gentle work of hormones. And as this journey through the language of hormones slowly draws toward its final reflections, it becomes possible to appreciate the quiet harmony these signals create within the body itself. Inside you, at this very moment, a quiet symphony is unfolding. It is not made of sound, and no instrument could ever play its notes. Yet, its rhythm is constant and precise, moving through your body with a patience that has been refined over millions of years. Hormones travel through the bloodstream like gentle melodies, carrying messages that guide countless processes without asking for your attention. Most of the time, you never notice this music. Your thoughts move through the events of the day. Your senses focus on the world around you. Meanwhile, beneath that awareness, the endocrine system continues its quiet performance. Glands release tiny signals. Cells listen carefully. The body adjusts itself again and again, maintaining harmony across systems that are always in motion. You might imagine this internal world as an orchestra performing a long, peaceful composition. Each gland plays its own subtle role. The thyroid guides the steady rhythm of metabolism. I'm helping cells release energy at a calm and balanced pace. The adrenal glands contribute signals that prepare the body for activity when needed, yet soften their tone once calm returns. The pancreas offers another gentle line in the music, guiding the movement of glucose through the bloodstream so that cells receive the fuel they need. None of these signals compete for attention. Instead, they blend into one another, creating a harmony that supports life from moment to moment. Earlier in this journey, you discovered how hormones guide the rhythm of sleep and waking. As daylight fades, signals associated with rest begin to rise. Melatonin quietly prepares the body for sleep, encouraging muscles to relax and thoughts to slow. When morning returns, other hormones gradually restore alertness and energy. These cycles repeat day after day, like a familiar melody that never grows old. You also explored how hormones influence emotions, guiding feelings of calmness, connection, and motivation. Oxytocin supports trust and warmth between people. Serotonin contributes to emotional stability. Dopamine encourages curiosity and engagement with the world. These signals shape the emotional landscape of the mind. They do not control your experiences completely, yet they gently influence how emotions rise and settle. Through them, the body participates in shaping the inner climate of thoughts and feelings. Growth and repair are part of this symphony as well. Growth hormone supports the renewal of tissues throughout life, encouraging cells to repair themselves during sleep and restore strength after daily activity. Bones rebuild their structure slowly over time, and muscles repair tiny strains that occur through movement. Even skin renews itself quietly under hormonal guidance. This ongoing renewal reminds us that the body is never truly static. It is always rebuilding, adjusting, and refining itself. Metabolism adds another important movement to the symphony. Every cell depends on the steady transformation of nutrients into energy. Hormones from the thyroid and pancreas guide this process, ensuring that energy flows where it is needed while maintaining balance within the bloodstream. The body's internal fire burns steadily, neither too fast nor too slow. Hormones help keep that flame at just the right intensity. You also encountered the gentle signals that guide hunger and satisfaction. The stomach releases hormones that encourage awareness of hunger when energy reserves begin to decline. Fat cells release other signals that inform the brain when nourishment has been sufficient. Through these messages, the body maintains a quiet conversation about balance. Eating becomes not simply an act of habit, but a response to biological signals that guide nourishment. Time itself participates in this symphony. Hormonal rhythms shift gradually across the years, guiding development, maturity, and adaptation. Some signals that were strong in youth soften with age, while others take on new importance. Yet the body continues adjusting with patience. Aging becomes less like a sudden change and more like a gentle recalibration of the music. Throughout it all, the brain remains deeply connected to the endocrine system. Structures such as the hypothalamus and pituitary help translate signals between thoughts, sensations, and hormones. The brain listens carefully to the body's internal environment and releases instructions that guide hormonal activity. In return, hormones influence how the brain perceives the world. It is a quiet partnership between mind and body. The goal of this partnership is balance. Homeostasis, the body's steady equilibrium, emerges through the cooperation of many signals. Hormones rise and fall gently, correcting small changes before they grow too large. Like ripples settling on the surface of a calm lake, the body returns again and again to stability. What makes this system remarkable is how rarely it asks for your attention. You do not need to guide the release of hormones. You do not need to measure their levels or instruct your cells how to respond. The body already understands the rhythm. Even now, as you lie quietly and listen to these words, hormones continue drifting through your bloodstream. They carry instructions to cells that maintain balance, repair tissues, guide metabolism, and support the quiet processes that sustain life. There is something deeply comforting in that realization. Your body is not fragile in the way it may sometimes feel. It is a living network of communication designed to adapt and maintain harmony through countless small adjustments. Every breath you take participates in this system. Oxygen travels through the lungs into the blood. Hormones influence how cells use that oxygen to produce energy. Carbon dioxide returns to the lungs to be released again into the night air. Life continues through these gentle cycles. You may not hear the symphony directly, yet it plays constantly beneath the surface of your awareness. Millions of signals move through your body each day, guiding sleep, mood, energy, growth, digestion, and healing. All of it unfolds quietly. All of it unfolds with patience. And as the night deepens around you, the music of this internal orchestra softens into the slower rhythms of rest. The body prepares for sleep. Hormones shift their patterns once more. Cells begin the quiet work of renewal that accompanies the peaceful hours of darkness. There is nothing you need to do to help this process. Your body already knows how to continue its silent symphony. As this journey gently comes to a close, notice how wide and still the world feels. So many lives unfolding quietly, whether we see them or not. You don't need to keep their names or stories. They've already done their work. If you enjoy these slow explorations, you can support the channel in any small way that feels natural, so others can find this calm too. But right now, there is nothing to decide and nowhere to go. Let your thoughts soften, your muscles relax, and the night carry you onward, one peaceful breath at a time.